You have chosen path triangle. Will you kill him? Will you let him survive?
In my head, my name is HIKKOMORI LOVELESS. I have no real interest in the outside world. This is a shelter for me. This has been my environment since I was born. I can make changes by selecting emotions for facial expression. I can choose between different eyebrows. Almond-shaped eyes would be great. My name is HIKKOMORI LOVELESS. This is a shelter for me. My name is HIKKOMORI LOVELESS. I can make changes by selecting emotions for facial expressions. I can choose between different eyebrows. I am shelter for HIKKOMORI LOVELESS. I can make changes by selecting almond-shaped eyes for my shelter. I have no real interest in facial expressions. I am HIKKOMORI LOVELESS. I am lost in the shelter of my environment. I can select emotions for my shelter. I can select different eyebrows for my facial expression. I can be beautiful to HIKKOMORI LOVELESS. I can be beautiful to my environment. I can be beautiful if I want it. I can be alone if wanted. I will be alone if it's not wanted. I will be alone because I'm not wanted. I'll be here in case I'm beautiful. I'll be here in case I'm beautiful. I'll be here when I'm alone. I'm alone because I'm beautiful. My name is HIKKOMORI Loveless. I am alone. I will be alone. I'm not beautiful. I'm not as beautiful as I wanted. I'll be here alone till I'm beautiful. I will never be beautiful out there. My name is HIKKOMORI Loveless. I'll be here in case I'm beautiful. I'll be here when I'm alone. I'm alone because I'm beautiful. I'm only beautiful in here. Because I'm alone.
If you love him, you may meet him again in another lifetime.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
This is the ending where he dies in beauty's arms.
I can be beautiful if I want.
That was wild.
Vicky's the mystery goddess, the shawl and the lights. It's beautiful.
And I think that's all happening in her living room. So everyone's turning their living room into a performance space. Hey,
And
Rohan.
Rohan,
Hi.
welcome. Thank you for joining us again.
No, thank you for having me again. Such
That
a
was
pleasure.
great. That was so great.
Beautiful.
how are
I know
y'all
Vicky's going to tune in a second. She probably has to unplug and turn the lights on. And
Yeah, do all that stuff. How
but
are you
yeah,
all?
just to
Good.
remind I guess this is pretty much a new listenership. You are right now in Rhode
The
Island.
basement.
Yes, I'm in Rhode Island, still in my parents' basement, where I've been.
Have you met Vicky actually in person ever, or
Nope.
no? Or
Nope.
this whole collaboration has happened virtually
Yep.
through the airwaves.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly been like something also, I think something about like the nature of like virtual communication is the facade of formality is kind of gone. Like when I like pick up a FaceTime call, I'm like, hello, how are you doing? And it's like it's always from like an awkward angle. Like there is no like, so I feel like in a weird way, it makes me like less socially anxious. I just feel a lot more like, you know what, everybody's feeling weird. It's all kind of weird. Who cares, right? Like one life to live. So
So I'm getting more and more curious about Hikomori Loveless and what
yeah.
happens in this story. Have you figured any of it out yet? Or
Yeah, I mean, Hikomori Loveless as a character is like it's a very tragic character, in that it's a lot of like, you know, especially when I was growing up, my whole reason for playing video games is because I often felt like just, you know, unwelcome in larger society, like other places. And I felt really comfortable going into like a video game world and projecting some kind of idealized vision of whatever. Like it's like you can kind of escape from whatever it is that you may loathe about just being in normal life, or you can kind of make anything that, you know, you want. So the character is like, is just inherently, it's a very tragic character in that it's a character who's trying to find beauty. And in this particular instance, the character kind of ends very tragically, where in this virtual space, upon finding this beauty, it's like a kind of realization that like, you know, yes, I can be beautiful, and yes, I can be meaningful, but it's also like within the trappings of a virtual environment wherein a lot of that may or may not manifest in real life. And it's, you know, there's other timelines we talked about last time of like where the character actually realizes the full extent of beauty in real life, in outside of the virtual space. I think it's a very Gen Z thing, you know, like being kind of like using the internet as a mechanism for finding your sense of self or sense of purpose or whatever that may be. Um,
Welcome, Vicky. I just saw Vicky appear with us.
they
Hi.
got on that tennis. What was it that David said last time? He said he won like the U.S. Open or something.
Yeah.
With my hood.
That's what
Beautiful,
it looked like.
dramatic
Yeah.
presence.
how did you
I
guys work out the theatrics, the set, and so forth, virtually, like, and the costume and the whole thing?
Yeah. Vicky has those lights. Vicky now has a lot of lights. After I think she's recently been acquiring. The the cloak is Vicky's. The actual like performative language, this is something I've actually just been thinking about a lot generally, is that whenever Vicky performs on a keyboard and whenever I have to write for a keyboard or write for like really any Western instrument, we're inhabiting a fundamentally colonized space. It's a space that, you know, based on repertoire, has shaped how we physically interact with a particular interface. And that repertoire subjugated other repertoire. The notational scheme subjugated other notational schemes. So when it, like, for example, if I were to ask Vicky, like, hey, Vicky, play Beethoven Opus 13, but like play it on the other side of the keyboard, she'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that makes no sense. But, you know, it's, and granted, like it doesn't necessarily link to the, you know, the way sound is produced. But I think some part of that functional physicality, which is discussed often in academia, like the notion of being quote unquote idiomatic, you know, like all these methods of functional physicality, it's very Western and it's a very anti-ritualistic, anti-spiritual practice. I think about the rituals that like I was passed on from my both sides of my family, both my mom's side and my dad's side. Like whenever I have to accept like prashad, which is like, you know, a blessing, accept it in my right hand. There's no real reason why like the prashad itself like doesn't change. Like I still have to eat it and it still tastes the same and it's still the same thing. But the act of accepting something in your right hand implies there's like a social contract that you're negotiating with that particular process. There's a sense of trust, but then there's also this virtual, imagined body that is extraterrestrial. It's something that is not grounded like in our reality at all. And to me, that's like really, really beautiful and gives a lot of space to explore meanings of the self, the way, you know, how we interact with the things around us, why we interact with the things around us. You know, so many people have been doing this since like, you know, since Sun Ra and like George Clinton, like the entire Afrofuturist movement, I think was really, really pushing that idea forward. So, you know, in a way, I actually think this piece could be even more like, even more experimental, like even more untraditional, where you know, she's playing piano with her feet, or she's like smashing a keyboard against the wall. Like, sorry, I don't know if that was actually your question. I just like,
No, you did. I did. And I actually, it really resonates with me because I love that you brought up this word idiomatic. Is it, you said idiomatic anyway? And I always felt uncomfortable. Like, what the heck does that mean? I've always felt uncomfortable with, well, what's natural on the instrument? You know, certainly in any kind of experimental tradition, that's all busted open. But it's really great to bring that up and you know, bring it right to the fore. And I think that Vicky is such a great partner in this because I mean, Vicky, you've championed so many. I mean, obviously you play repertoire that's just, you know, fingers on the keyboards, you know, as we know it, but and done that amazingly well and beautifully. But then you've been connected to a lot of work that breaks that open. And so I think this is what a great partnership between your openness, because not every keyboardist wants to like be triggering things and moving with a cape, but you know, but the partnership was a really beautiful. The result was so beautiful, and so natural.
yeah, Vicky's pretty cool.
And Ron's pretty cool.
We're like this now. I don't know what this is, but we're kind of like this.
Yeah, we're like texting each other, you know, different things like dreams, like dream interpretations and all sorts of things now. But yeah, it's been a blast working with Rohan. Like yeah, like you said, was just the perfect partner to work with, because I am very open to experimenting with all sorts of things, like on the keyboard, off the keyboard, and the piano and whatnot. And with this, I also got to try a little bit with lighting, although, you know, just with some basic LED lights. But you know, Rohan and I are still planning to continue to develop this work further and make it and grow. So we're excited to see what the next phase of this will be.
So are we. And,
Us too.
and Vicky, we're going to see you later on this show, right? Because you're back playing the piano, actually. And Rohan, we're going to see you somewhere else. I don't know where, but
I will be in the scene.
Either.
Yeah.
You'll be there.
Forward to that.
And thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.